focus on creating the profile page for starters. So let's go in and first check that we have inside our API, we have the opportunity to get the posts from a user and get the information from a user. However, one thing we could look into here is right now we are grabbing user information and we also grabbing the current user information. But what we want to do now is we just want to test this function in our front end. So let's go inside our app here and let's go in and create a folder. This folder is going to call profile, or you can call it users. It all depends on what you want to have in the URL. So in our case, we're just going to call it profile, and we're going to call this dash, and then we're going to put in the param we're going to put in. So basically to do this, we can say id.view. So now when we go and route, this will take in an ID. And let's go in and create a template for this. And let's go down here and create the component. So the name for this component is just gonna be user profile. And we're gonna have some methods in here. And then we're also gonna be calling a function before mount. So what we can do now is we can go inside the nuxt.js file in here. So in here we can find the documentation. And what you will notice here is inside the routing, as I showed you, we have the dash ID, for example, users dash ID. And what we're then going to be able to do is we're going to be able to, we can validate the params. We're not really going to look into that now because we're doing that on the back end already. But we can, on the other hand, go in and get information from the routers. So that's what we want to do. We want to be able to get in information about what user ID was entered in the browser. So what we can do is we can go in and set console.log, and then we can say this route, and then we can say params.id. And we also need to run this. Okay, so let's try and go in profile and then 1. Okay, so we need to, right now we just want to figure out how we can print out the right param. So let me just get back on that. Service where you can basically go in and create your own server, so you can host your own website in here. VueJS is a really good product because first of all, it allows you to easily set up your server by just going in and creating it and then accessing everything from server. It's cheap and easily affordable. And with the link in the description, you can get VueJS for the first 30 days with $100 to use to test for free. And that allows you to try it out. So if you really want to try out VueJS, you should click in the link in the description and try it out, because you'll be able to easily set up a website on a decent price. Like cheapest one is $250. You can go up to something more like $120. So it also allows you to go in and use load balancers. So if you need anything like this, it's available. And there's also other things like, for example, storage units you can set up for your server. So if you want to use this, can use with S3, so you can basically set it up as with Laravel. So I would highly recommend you to set it up with Volta and let me know what you think about using this service when you finish using it. Yeah, and if we go in now and refresh, we will now have number 1. Then if we go in and enter like this, it will be that number. So now we can basically grab whatever is typed in here and pass that through to a request here, so we can get the current user data. We could use the state here, but in this case we don't really want to have a state right now. Right now we just want to grab the user information, and then later on when we work on liking and commenting and stuff like that, we are gonna look into how we implement all of that into a state. So first of all, let's go in here and make this asynchronous, and then let's go in and say array, and then let's say this dot Axios dot get, and let's put this into a variable called response, and we want to grab information from users dash ID. So if we just go in here, say API user, and then we just want to say plus this route params.id, and then we want to say console.log respond. And as you can see, we got the first user here, which we just want to go in now, and basically we just want to go in and check for the social site here. Inside users we have 2 users, and then let's go in and say post. They all belong to user number 1. So what we would like to do is we would like to also have the post here, as you can see, and then we can just go in and print all of that out. So let's put all of this into a variable. So let's go in and create a data here, and let's return, and then also let's put this into a function just to tidy this up a bit. So we're gonna have a function called async get user, and we just want to return actually we don't want to return anything, we just want to grab the user and we want to set the user. So we want to just say this dot get user, and what we can just do here is we can go in and create something called user to null, and then have a post as null, and then we can say this dot user is gonna be response.user, and then we have this dot post is gonna be response.post. So now what we want to do is we want to go in nuxt here, and both of these are undefined. So this is just gonna be, if we console.log here like this, and then we basically say and of course this is a plural. So if we now go in here, what you will see here is we have all the posts here. So the post we would need to use some v4 to post out, And for the user data, we can just grab here. So we are not going to look into building the user page yet. In this video, we are just going to post out the data. So what we want to do is we just want to have a h1 title, and that's going to contain user.name. Just a second, let's go in and okay, let's try just to go in here and see what it says if we say user.name. And I think the problem is the way we organize the structure in our user controller. So actually no, so this should be printable. Of course, we also need to go in and say data.name. Let's try that now. Perfect. So now we should be able to go in and basically just say user.name here, but let's try. And we also need a template here. So if we just go in and say template, so templates are basically what allows us to just run an if statement or v4 or something like that. So we can just say vif, and then we just want to be sure that the user is not empty. And then if we go on profile 2, perfect. Sorry for all the mistakes in this video. So if we now basically we can go in and just put through email and create an ad, all of these things, yeah. And you can see, obviously we want to use something like moment to beautify the dates here, but for these two, they are printed out and we can manipulate that in the DOM as we fancy. So what we want to do additionally is we just want to have a list, and this list is gonna basically contain post 1. This is obviously just for now, and post 2, 3, so on. So what we want to do is create that list. And we want to put this inside a template with a vf, just to check that there's any post. And if there's post, we want to iterate through here. Otherwise, we want to say template vls, and want to say this user does not have any post, and then we want to just say post in post, and then we want to go in here and say li, and then we want to say key. It's gonna basically just be posted ID, and let's just change this to plural. So if we go in here now, then we basically just want to go in and say post dot id. And we also want to go here and put this. Great, perfect. So as you can see now in here, we have all of the posts here. While we might have, you know, different ways of basically doing it on the front page and stuff like that, this is an easy way just to grab the user information. There's no need to set up a store for just grabbing the user information like this. It can be done easily through here. So because we doesn't necessarily want to grab in all of the user information unless we actually load the page, and it's just faster to do it this way. So this is what we can do here. You can go in and grab from different variables here and stuff like that. So in the next video, we can go in and basically style all of this page, and then it will look even better. So what we can do is we can create a user profile page of some sort. You can do it in whatever way you fancy, and then that will actually be all for this video. So see you in the next one.